Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. Today we're in the Mig-29A and we're going to be doing a fast cold start. I call it a fast cold start because what we're doing is just the things I consider essential to get all of the systems up and ready for combat, but missing out a lot of the official checks and stuff like that you would do in the official manual. Let's start with ground power. In case you're new, then you press that button there, communications menu, make sure you bind something to that. You'll come up here with some words. When you press that, go to ground crew, go to ground electric power and go to on.
Chief, turn on the ground power.
You'll have your canopy open for this, obviously. Let him do it.
Copy.
He's going to say copy and then he's going to say ground power is now on. Next, we need to have our ground power enable switch on. Whoops, I can't see it because my pilot is on. Right shift and P standard to remove pilot, and you will also definitely want to remove the joystick by clicking there. I should say control stick, not joystick. So the button ground power enable on there. As well as that, there are 6 switches on the power panel here. Turn them all on by pressing on that guy there. Next, system switches. We have optimized this a bit. You can press navigation, standby gyro, main gyro, aircraft systems, radio, weapon control system, weapons, record, and IFF. Do not press AFCS. It's different to the official procedure, but it is streamlined and it does work. Next, we're going to zoom in down here. First thing we need to do, this clock here, is to press this button here to start our stopwatch. Look at this hand here. We need to allow 40 seconds to go by before we can do our next operation, and we must do that. In fact, pause. Nothing that I'm showing today is optional. I suggest doing it all exactly as I've shown, not missing any steps out, otherwise you'll find it just doesn't work and it gets very frustrating. Okay, as 40 seconds comes closer, what we're going to do is press that button there, which is magnetic heading slave, and at the same time that button there, compensation 0. Obviously with the mouse it's impossible to do that at the same time, so what we're going to do is bind some controls to them. Luckily it's already done as standard. You should have J bound to magnetic slave, you should have 9 bound to the compensation 0 button. When that gets to 40, this hand here, we're going to press and hold J and 9 at the same time. Officially, according to the manual, you should do it for at least 10 seconds. So just to make sure, let's do that. And press them at the same time. Go. You probably don't need to hold it for 10 seconds, but I'm going to because the manual tells me. What you should see is a shift in the HSI as it aligns to the true heading. And let go of the buttons. Next, we're going to sort the ECRAM out, kind of our warning system. You can see it actually says fail at the moment, which is bad. Again, you must do this. Master caution, left button press to cancel it. Then we're going to go to our ECRAM warning system and we're going to press this button once. All that's going to do is actually initiate the system. It's going to run a self-test, and I can actually speed up because I'm in single player. It's going to run through its little self-test, and I suggest just waiting it. Before boost hydraulic system came on, it said ECRAM is ready. It's now come up with an error, hydraulic system failure, but it's okay. It's meant to do that, just the order that we're doing things. Next, we're going to start our fast INS alignment. You must do this. You go to this button here which says navigation prepare operate. Push it forward and that will start, by the way that we've done things so far, our fast alignment rather than our normal alignment, and we'll always want to do the fast alignment because it's much quicker than the normal alignment, and as far as I can see it has no disadvantages. While we're waiting a couple of minutes for that to work, we're going to check our oxygen system, make sure it is turned on, and it is on, or should I say open. There's a bit of controversy about this switch at the moment, whether you should have a mix of oxygen and normal air or 100% oxygen. We've been advised for the time being to go with 100% oxygen. That may change going forward, so just bear in mind. Next, canopy close, right click once, let it come down into that station there, right click again, check this pin goes in and is flush like it is, to check that we are hermetically sealed, and we are. Next, we can start both engines. First, check this switch here is not in left, it's not in right, it's in center, to make sure that both engines are started. Next, we need to make sure our actual physical HOTAS throttles on our desk are in the aft position, and mine are. Then we need to move them from cut off into the idle position. You'll do that with right alt and home and right shift and home. So right alt and home, right shift and home, done. Then simply press the start button once, which is there. Press and wait. We're going to wait until the tacho here for both needles reads about 70%, and both engine gas temperatures here and here read about 300 or 300 to 400, and I can speed up time because it's single player. Watch that go. About 70%, about 70%, about 300, about 300. Choose takeoff flaps. That is the center position here. Pop. Next, remove ground power. We don't need it anymore, so I'm going to press the communications menu, ground crew, ground power, off. I'm just going to speed it up and he'll obviously confirm. Ground power is now off. Next, we're going to check our alignment is done, and we can see if it says fast prep there, we know our fast alignment is done. The aircraft is ready to go navigation and INS wise. Next, this is very important, our stick must go back on, so press it there. Next, we need to make sure our trim is neutralized, so this is very important to get right. So we've got rudder trim, we've got rear stab trim, elevator trim and aileron trim. As it happens, they are all in the neutral position now. Now if it wasn't, and it might not be, let's say a pilot brought this aircraft home, shut it down, and he forgot when shutting it down to neutralize the aileron trim. Well, I'm going to put it out of neutral now by pressing aileron trim left. Whoops. Well, we need that on at this point, so I'm going to press aileron trim right until we get it back on, and then we know we're in the neutral position. We're now in the neutral position. We can now engage our AFCS, our Augmented Flight Control System, which is the one switch of the systems panel we left off earlier. Press that on there. I'm going to just zoom out a bit. No, actually that's fine. Now this is very important. Obviously, like I said, your stick should be visualized at this point. As well as that, don't touch your actual stick, because the system is going to now take control of our stick as it runs its AFCS built-in test. We know that's happening when this light is showing here. That is not me moving the stick, that is the AFCS built-in test running. So like I said, don't interfere. There might be a problem if you have a forced feedback stick, because those make micro kind of corrections all the time. If you do, then, well, a solution is going to have to be found, obviously, but a normal stick should be fine. I'm going to speed it up at this point because we can. We know it's finished when it's doing what it's doing, because that light will not flash. It will now be solid. Just wait until it does that. Done. How rude of it. It's left my stick in a weird cocked position, i.e. it's out of trim. Well, that's bad news. So we need to retrim. So aileron trim. I think it's going to be left. Look for the light on the right when I hit neutral position. Whoops, missed it. Back. Also, it's forward, so let me trim aft. And there. Trim rudder, trim stab, trim aileron. Back to neutral. Next, we've got some more weapons systems or combat systems. Our RWR needs turning on, so that guy there. You can test it, but we're not going to bother. Next, not official procedure, obviously, but because we're doing a more gamey approach where we just want to get up and be ready to fight. Our radar, we're going to change to illuminate, so that switch is going to go all the way up. Next, our pitot heat, in case that becomes modeled at some point, is going to go on there. I'm just going to move myself back up in my seat. Finally, we need to check we've not accumulated any warning systems, and it's very important we did the stuff with the ECRAM earlier on to make sure that it's in a listening position and ready and initialized. Well, there's obviously no problems. Click there just to make sure. ECRAM is happy. If there were some problems, well, obviously you've messed something up, so get a new jet and start again. But you can clear the messages by basically hammering on that button there to get them cleared. And that is a ready to take off and fight jet. I hope that was useful, and bye-bye.